So you reach that subtler state when you understand what is fundamentally, basically wrong with you, because these are the fundamentals on which our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being rests or is nourished. So immediately you know basically what's wrong with you, and you know yourself, nobody has to tell you. Now supposing somebody is very much conditioned, so his chakra at the backside goes off. Now if you tell that person you are a conditioned person, he'll not like it. But he himself after realization will say, Mother, please solve my problem of the back agya, means there's some conditioning. Could be coming from anything. And you face yourself directly. You don't have to sort of sit down and analyze yourself, but you just see it clearly on your centers, what's wrong with you. And if you can relate one center, another center, combinations of these centers, and actually what is the matter with you, immediately you will know what's the problem is. So you know the absolute truth. Now you have known from India many people have come as false gurus, and everybody tells me about them. They are just here to make money. There's a kind of camouflage they have. But still, with realization, you immediately know that he is a cheat. Or he is a demonic person. You have to just put your hands like this and you can feel it. The vibrations, which are not pulsations of a tremor or anything, but cool, breeze-like things that flow, suddenly becomes hot. Sometimes they might create a little blister also for the time being, because you become like a barometer. And absolute things, Even if you have a painting which is a copy of a real painting and people don't know, only by putting hands towards it, immediately you'll know if it is of the real one or not. Any fundamental question can be asked and you get the answer on your fingertips and you know what is the truth. So that your attention itself becomes enlightened. With this attention, which is enlightened, you can feel the vibrations of another person, the chakras of another person. But apart from that, second thing, that this enlightened attention is dynamic. Sitting down here, if you put attention to something, it works. It works. Of course, you have to develop that state, that higher state of doubtless awareness. Anywhere you put your attention, it works. So the connection with the divine is that this attention, wherever you put it, like a remote control, it works. A person who is a realized soul is extremely compassionate and extremely dynamic. Of course, you never feel your age, you never get tired, you work very hard, because all the time the energy is flowing. You become an expert on understanding what is falsehood and what is truth. The discrimination, the divine discrimination is so acute and so penetrating that you cannot find faults with it. I know of a person who came to me after realization. I told him that why don't you take to the interior decoration of ships. He said, I don't know, from one timber to another timber. I said, just start. And he became very rich with that. He somehow or other, he said, I knew this was this timber. I knew this one was that timber. So you just know after a certain state that you reach that this is this, this is this. Because your attention is so pure and clear, you become extremely creative. Many people who have never spoken on the stage, have never said a sentence on the stage, who had stage fear and all that, are great orators today. Any walk of life you enter into, you are absolutely confident of yourself and you know you are properly guided. And the nature of the Spirit is that it gives you an attention that doesn't fritter away. You don't look at things which are of no use. But once you see something, the whole picture is in your mind, like a photogenic picture. Whenever you want to think about it, you get the whole thing. Even the folds of the clothes and everything, the face, everything comes to you absolutely clear. The memory becomes so sharp, even at an old age, that people are surprised. And you do not try to memorize too many things, it's just there. One lady in America got realization. She had a shop, Indian lady. She said, I meticulously knew every bit of my shop, and I knew what consignment has come, what has gone, everything. I don't know anything now, but I'm making big profits. I said, that's it. Why should you break your neck with all this burden? Just you should have the profit finished. And she was amazed how she's making so much money when she is not knowing all these things and she's living in complete joy. So another attribute of the Spirit is that it is the source of joy. Joy is not like happiness and unhappiness. If your ego is pampered, then you feel happy. When it is not pampered, you feel unhappy. Joy is a state where you just enjoy everything. Because you are beyond thoughts,